NTI, yes, we speak NTI.org.bb, over 5,000 free courses, and today we got an extremely special guest.
For sure.
One of the shout outs to our guest today. We can tell you who he is in a second. They want everyone head on over to www.nti.org.bb, and you can take any of our courses. All are absolutely free. Over 5,000 free courses.
Even without data, you don't need data.
You don't need data or Wi-Fi charges. The second move that back from a video to the youngster on the inside working hard and getting them by the end of the show. Love to see the youth working on the inside where everything look good and sound good. We on Instagram. We on Instagram squad today?
Yeah, I believe so. We get set up.
Charlie, Hot 95.3. Be on NTI on Facebook and on IG as well. That's what we're talking about. Make sure you all head on over and follow NTI on all social media platforms. Today we're embracing diversity and learning, overcoming challenges with creativity. This week's course is Citizenship. This is an online course provided by the NTI about our values, rights, responsibilities as Barbadian citizens. This citizenship course offers tools to help you strive for excellence, communicate better, work well with others, and be active citizens, engage in our community. I love that. And be active citizens, engage in our community. So we want you all to focus on that. We can talk about that. I love that. It was created by Bajans for Bajans. Listen, it was created by Bajans for Bajans and was recently transformed into a gamified version. We can talk about that too. That we're talking about. You understand? Listen, the citizenship course by the NTI. I remember, Scott, this course costs you a little bit.
It costs you a name. Oh,
it costs you a name.
You have me good.
It costs you a whole lot of nothing.
A whole lot.
You know what I mean? And it was recently transformed into a gamified version for primary school children, thanks to help of our today's maybe mindset guest Neil. This NTI citizen course have 5 modules: excellence and integrity, effective communication skills for everyday life. Listen, people, effective communication skills for everyday life. I don't care what you're doing, I don't care where you're from, I don't care where your business is, where your hustle is. Effective communications for everyday life is imperative. Using fancy words today on radio. Understand, effective communication skills for everyday life is imperative, is of vital importance. If we can't communicate, you ain't get a rapper sell, you ain't get Fanta sell, you ain't get beer sell, you ain't get drink sell, you ain't get a project proposal, explain nothing. You understand? Communication is extremely important. 99% of successful people successful because you really can communicate. So you could talk money out of somebody's pocket, or you could talk it into the pocket. You know what I mean? And that's extremely important for everyday life. No, active teamwork. You know, we need that. We need to practice teamwork. There ain't no way we can better our communities. There's no way we can improve our communities and progress without teamwork. So active teamwork is important. Developing new competencies, that's important. Understanding my national identity. And I can talk to our guests about how he can put that in animation. Because when you look at this last one, especially understanding my national identity, and the course helping you for that. And then there was something created simple format where children can understand quite easily.
Yeah, gamified version.
Oh, you know what I mean? That got
you watch the video that they sent us?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Let me ask you, this there only for children?
No. But you watch that, I enjoy it from beginning to the end. So
I mean, like real talk, that we can have a conversation about that for sure. So shout out to the NT and that course. This course was extremely helpful, allowing me to develop the skills to become a leader, be a better individual, and be somebody who values and understands teamwork. I gain a lot of different life skills that I can take into the future to help me improve as a person and a young entrepreneur. And that was a top review. Welcome, Scott. I want to tell Barbados a little more guests this week, and then we get straight into his mindset when he created this gamified versions that will now help all primary schools. When I look at these 5 core values, Scott, is good values to have, and teaching primary school these things is great, but making it fun. Come on, we got salute people like that for real.
We gotta send a big salute for sure out to Neil Sorhaindo, one of our Barbados' most talented creative artists. His expansive career has seen him become a prolific commercial animator and graphic artist for over 25 years. His expertise also includes video production and editing, writing, stunts, and choreography for film, television, and stage, and voice acting. Neil has mainly worked on commercial campaigns where his conceptualization and management of these projects have yielded exceptionally successful results. Clients who have had the honor of working with Neil include UNICEF, the National Transformation Initiative, the NTI, the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, which is the METVT, Red Advertising, the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, Animacon, and many more. With such an extensive career, Neil has been able to transform into an educator and teach these disciplines for the Barbados Community College, University of the West Indies, and BIMAP successfully and effectively for more than 10 years. These disciplines assist in bringing Neil to a unique platform in which he uses his expertise as a subject matter expert to explore the challenges of those who learn differently. Most recently in the Civics and Citizenship eLearning game launched by NTI in partnership with the METVT for primary schools. The same thing you were talking about, Sluggy. That's the last big project that Neil worked on. He's smiling, but he's real proud. You should be proud because
it's making our song very, very nice.
It's so fancy, yeah.
It's so fancy.
Make sure somebody big.
For real,
that we're talking about. Salute. We got salute our people. And first off, thanks for coming through today, and thanks for all the good work you're doing. Teaching all over. Teaching is a very challenging task, but of course the challenge is quite rewarding. How you get into the whole animation and graphic art? How you got into the whole graphic art animation scene? Where that love and passion come from?
Honestly, it started as long as I know myself. But as far as I can remember, we always used to enjoy cartoons as a family.
Yeah.
I remember my father a lot laughing at all that whole Bugs Bunny cartoons, all Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and Droopy Dog and cartoons and things. And it was always a fun thing. It always brought some excitement and joy. And I was always into storytelling. I always wanted to learn how to do it. But when it came to writing it, it was a challenge. I was not great at English language. So like when you stumble upon words like fatigue, that really mean like fatigue.
Fatigue, yeah.
The English language in itself was a challenge for the grammar. And I always found art to be a lot more free. And for as long as I know, I always wanted to get into it. And I was lucky enough to go and study in Miami for about 2 years and worked there for a year in my younger years. No need to say it, but in my younger years. And then that was just it. I just always knew that I wanted to get into animation. But I knew that I only wanted to do animation, but getting into graphic design and film and education, those things were not part of the plan.
Yeah, those things happen along the journey. And how do you overcome the struggles you were having with the English language and the grammar? How do you overcome that? Did it be hard? In any way, how do you overcome that?
It actually did. When I was in the art program, when I was doing animation, I was doing it for 2 years. When I was doing animation, we got to focus a lot on visual stuff. And then the written information was more supplementary. So it usually assisted with what we needed to do, and it usually assisted with what we needed to research. So it became useful. And then after that, when I started to work as a graphic artist, we used to do a lot of commercials that would have a lot of copy, a lot of text, and the English part had to be checked very frequently by another person specifically. And while on the job doing graphic design, I found that learning these different changes that were happening and having my copy being checked by this woman all the time, I found that it improved during that. And then from there, I went to BCC and started to do the bachelor's program. And there we had creative writing. The teachers that I had at the time just, I can't tell you, it just helped.
That changed your life?
Yeah, it really did.
No, that's awesome. Would you say we can use programs like art and graphic art and animation with young people that might have challenges learning, that you might have a learning challenge, or or some sort, or something that we may see as learning challenge and graphic art and animation and these things that would be more fun. Help with that.
Play is usually a very good teacher to begin with.
Nice.
Play is a good teacher.
Mhm.
Art, to me, is articulation
Mhm.
in whatever way you can find it to be, without it having to be through language. And if there are people who articulate so much better when they sing,
Mhm.
there are people who articulate so much better when they do speeches, when they create sculptures and so forth. And there are people who can articulate better, being able to dance and swim and these kind of things. These when you really look at the word articulation or even the word animation, animation is really a study of movement, a study of life, how things move.
Mhm.
And a lot of animators don't do a lot of their research by reading. They do a lot of their research by observation. And when, for example, The Lion King,
Mhm.
when the animators were doing the animations for all the wild animals, they spent a lot of time in the zoos and stuff studying the animals and how they move, how the shoulders would move whenever the cats would prowl
Mhm.
or when they're about to pounce. It is a lot easier for a lot of people to learn through being able to observe and interact than it is for people to learn through working.
Mhm.
There are different types of intelligences.
Yeah.
Right? And the education system that we have been in really caters to one or two types of education, of intelligences.
Mhm.
But if we were to explore that, there are like about maybe 11 different types of intelligences. Art is definitely one of those things that consists.
No, I love that.
I hope that answers your question.
You know, ask me questions perfectly because the art, so all the artists will be in show to BCC too. You know what I mean? The BCC alumni do their music there, so it's always got special love. BCC is a good thing to get young people together for one place with a common goal. You know what I mean? That would always be a good thing, and I think that's something that art is really happy with because I guess like you said, play is always a good way to learn, and that's the way children learn the most.
But you would also know too that in music,
Yeah,
there's something that's created,
yeah,
like in the space at the time.
yeah.
And when we talk about art, it's usually just seen as just somebody daydreaming and drawing, somebody that can't really do any kind of skills and sculpting and these kind of things. But there's a creative process that happens in a state of play that we would not have put words like that to it before. But there's a play that happens. And when people are making music, you see when they're doing a jam. And the jam just kind of organically happens. Anytime you hear any live performances, there's some moment.
It's like in a groove for you.
Yeah, the groove, right? That is, it's an intangible thing that happens in the moment. And it is a very organic process that happens that a lot of people don't get to enjoy. And that takes away the play of life. As children, they get that opportunity to play when they're young. They don't have to think so much. And using art, using movement, these kind of things, music, all of these things do help with different aspects of their intelligence. And it also helps with being able to articulate themselves a little bit later on, a little better.
No,
That's my opinion.
it's mine too, you know what I mean?
Free up your spirits, like man.
Yeah, no, it's real, and it really helps. And when you spoke about the process, right? In anything, could be drawing, painting, sculpting, creating a song, creating a play, poem, whatever. Is that process is carry mind so many different places. I guess that would be so good for children to be in the arts. So even if it's creating a dance, creating a choreography, still can take your mind someplace else. So like when you say it's not just daydreaming, and let me particularly say that, can you explain why that process opens up the mind of you so much? When you start doing music young, like 12, burn up 40, like my mind wasn't the same. That's great in saying, it could be saying simple, it could be just because we do a course in the birds using call and response. Saying it's simple, call and response. They say something, we want the boy to respond and say it. At 12 years old, my mind going and hearing somebody respond, you know what I mean, writing it song for me and somebody else. It's simple song, it's just at school. But my mind makes simply itself because they working same for me and for somebody to respond to me. So like, like 12 you think your mind blown. But then when you kind of find out further enough for all the time that all of the work children doing these things from much younger. So imagine how their mind is already and they ain't able to transform their mindset. So why does that process helps to develop your mind so much in any creative process?
That is such a big question you
Yeah.
ask then.
I know.
I guess in my opinion, it comes down to what we consider what happens on the inside. There's a lot of focus on a specific type of intelligence that is considered as intelligence. But when we look at words, the word structure is very linear, and each word is like a micro thought that is structured.
Yeah.
So it's a very structured thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when we think about thoughts and emotions, those things are they're debated. There are no words really to describe them.
Yeah.
They're vast, right? And
That's true, they don't even really know words to describe them. That way art be helpful,
Right.
Art don't be that's words, even if you're saying that even like shoulders to Adrian Green, even if it's just a poem, that's words. It can't even some of it, so you're so right, continue.
it does if we consider that what we are doing is we're playing with the creative force. We're playing with a force that is infinite.
Yeah.
And words are very finite. Even if you have a very complex dance, it's a very difficult thing for you to put to words the feeling of the dance, because it's not just the movement that you watch. There's something else that happens when people watch these things.
Yeah, it's still storytelling. Because
There's
still telling the
storytelling.
story,
But it goes beyond what you see.
Yeah.
You
There's a
start to
level of
feel
like emotional activation or something.
Yeah.
there's emotional activation, and even so, you can still say that there's something else.
Yeah.
When people used to go to a lot of orchestral music, like orchestras, big symphonies with big bands and these big, a slew of different instruments and stuff, there's a different feeling when you hear live music versus when you hear music passing through analog systems. And it is important for a person to be able to explore where they can go or what they really can do, and to be able to have that freedom to do that allows all of us to be able to benefit from what that person comes back with. Every one of us has a journey to go on. That journey can be invisible. It can be in the mind, it can be in the heart, it can be in the spirit, or it can be on the earth. And we never do one thing at a time. All of them are experiences on all levels. So it is very helpful, I believe, for a person to be able to expand themselves and explore themselves without being constricted all the time. It is necessary for structure, but there is a point in time in life where we have to take that journey of exploration. And that journey of exploration can go very far and very deep, and it can be very, very scary. But it can also be very exciting if you look at it in the right way. And I believe that the various types of articulation that are out there allow people to be able to explore these things in a very safe way. There are lots of teachers who are willing to teach, who are allowing the students a safe place to be able to find parts of themselves. That's my experience.
Now, have you ever, because you teach, have you ever been teaching and can tell where one of your students' mind is at a particular time depending on what they're drawing or creating?
I would never do one thing. We would never just teach and it just be teaching and we observe it. We try to have a conversation going as well. So while we're in class, there's a lot of free talk. You can say anything in my class.
Free talk at college level things,
And it's a lot of fun.
That's fun, Sluggy, that is fun.
It is fun. I learn a lot. And all of my students, I hope they are listening. I hope that they did and do enjoy my class because I learn a lot from them. I also have a lot of fun. in the classes as well, talking to them. They give me perspectives that I would not have considered. We talk about things that they may not have considered as well. And again, it's an organic process that happens. So even though we are doing the art part, it does free up the spirit to be able to talk freely. So
Nice. Now, in creating the gamified version for the primary school children, how was that process for you? And you know, as creators, I think it kind of a place where so many good ideas when you train with. Because I'm laughing, you man, laughing, smiling, no, I hate sport. So many good ideas when you train, and you just have to make a decision, man, this is good enough. You know, anything the artists and the perfectionists, you know, it's just people say, man, let's go with the flow, you can't help it. You want what coming up with the people as perfect as possible.
right.
How was that process for you in creating the gamified version, and what of things were important to you in that creation process?
The creation process in itself is always fun to play with. Creating this game, Civics and Citizenship, is not an easy topic to make fun. But it really just comes down to morals and values and integrity. Trying to be the best that you can be and figuring out what principles can kind of forge that. So we kind of broke it down into considering the principles of what we as a people could be to be better people. That was basically what we broke it down to. Turning it into a game, finding ways to make it fun was challenging, mainly because of the amount of time that we didn't have a lot of time to work on this. It normally takes a long time to develop a game.
That was thinking.
A long time. You know, you're familiar with Mario Brothers,
Yeah.
right? Nintendo and Mario.
Yeah.
You would not believe how long Nintendo has been out before they put out the hit Nintendo system and Mario Brothers.
Really?
Now we know about Nintendo only when it came out and when Mario Brothers came out with it. But for what I know, Nintendo company has been making games since 1889.
What?
And they started off as a card game at first. So you know, like how the Pokemon cards were? They started out like that. And it's almost like 100 years later that they were actually able to start coming up with video games, and those video games being a hit. So for them, it's not like when they created their first video game, this is the first great video game they had. They had 100 years of experience of games, right? We didn't have a long time.
Certainly not 100 years.
We certainly didn't have 100 years, but we did have 100 years of research.
Which is good.
We did a lot of research on these things. People do not know the amount of research that goes into video games. It may sound juvenile, and people do usually lump video games as a juvenile thing, or games in general as a juvenile thing. But games aren't. Everybody plays games. People play games in language, people play games in politics, some people play games with money. But games is something that have taught people a lot over a long period of time. And there's a lot of research that we had to do in being able to try and pull this game together as best as we possibly could in a short period of time. And I honestly could not do it without two other masters of the craft. My artist and my programmer. Creating the art is one thing, creating programming is another thing, but we need the framework in creating the script. What is the story? We have to make the story interesting, we have to make the characters interesting, we have to make the gameplay itself interesting. And I was fortunate enough that I was able to put together a team of masters to be able to put this thing together in, 7 months?
Well,
it was not a long time.
And this 7 months that included research, or you researched before the 7 months started?
Well, I kind of got the hint that something like this was coming. And I had started doing my research into this stuff a couple of months before.
Mhm.
And when we got the project, it was really just time to go. I have not had time to rest.
It was you and two other persons?
It was myself, two other persons, mainly on it, but it was a total of 7 people at any one time working on the project.
Wow, it's great. NTI is there somewhere people can see this? Huh? Is there somewhere people can see this? It's online?
Right now, it's only for the primary schools. I'm hoping that they will
So
eventually.
then like on YouTube channel on that, people could go and look and see this brilliant creation.
It's coming, Sluggy. Hold on. Be patient.
But you know, look at me.
It won't take 100 years, don't worry.
Well, no, because like when the public can see these things, but I glad is in primary school. But I
Mhm.
hope it's on YouTube so that primary school children can see it too. Every primary school got it.
As far as I know.
Well, I love it. I love it. Every single primary school, and you managed to cover all the topics within this gamified version.
We managed to cover quite a few topics
Mhm.
in a brief form,
Mhm.
but the way that the game is structured will allow us to be able to expand it as
Ah.
time progresses.
Oh, nice.
So we're really hoping
So
to
you
make
can
it
add more. Oh.
We're really hoping to make it a much bigger game, a much more involved game, and all of the sites involved in it, all of the places
Mhm.
are local places. We went and did site visits all
Mhm.
around. So we did one scene which takes place in the Bay in St. Lucie,
Wow.
and the artist painted it
Mhm.
out. The background is exact.
Repeat that.
Little Bay in St. Lucie.
Uh-huh.
The artist we took a site visit,
Uh-huh.
painted the background
Yeah.
of one of the stages
Yeah.
as Little Bay in St. Lucie.
Mhm.
So the short version of the story is that an alien crashes
Mhm.
in Barbados and has to find parts of her ship throughout the island. So in order for her to find parts of the ship, she has to go to these different places and they have to learn about these different places
Right.
as they go along.
Mm.
So the player gets
Nice,
a chance to explore the island,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and they're all sites on the island itself.
Yeah.
So
I want to play this game. I'm not even kidding. It sounds super duper interesting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, that's great. Shout out to NTA and shout out to yourself, Neil. So this open up my brain. You see this as another way forward, not the only way, of course. You got hundreds of ways, but you see this as something that we can use more within teaching. Call it this idea where you see like different parts of the island
Mhm.
and in learning different parts of the island. You know what I mean? And doing the course, doing the game at the same time. I think about how many different things you can do.
what we are hopeful,
Even if you're in only a school setting, you get me. Even if it's a personal project, if it's saying like way, but something like this, I think will help a lot of people. If we could learn like that, I'm sure that no care what age people are, if they could learn like that, most people prefer learning that. Because me, I can't learn them.
The thing about this, like, is
making
you won't even be considering it learning because you're playing this game,
Which is
you're
better.
having fun,
Right.
but you're learning along the way. You're not even thinking about
Yeah,
it.
you're not
how you're
supposed to
learning.
think.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to think about the learning.
Yeah.
Part. You're just supposed to be going as you go.
You
So
just
what do
play
you
the
think?
And it
game.
just so happens that it's a side result.
You learn a lot of
So,
things.
so that was your thinking process with creating it as well. That I don't want the children to know that they're learning the same thing. Like you told Scott, you're not supposed to be thinking of that while you're playing the game.
Right. The learning part is really just supposed to be supplementary.
Mhm.
The objective is to try and make it as fun as possible.
Mhm.
Remember,
Yeah.
it's still a civics and citizenship
Yeah.
course that we're trying to do. So
Yeah.
there's only so much room that we had to make it as playful as possible.
Mm.
But the objective is to continue to build up on it, make it a lot more fun. Now, one of the things that we started to consider while we were doing this game was to not just keep it in the game itself.
Mhm.
It would be very, very helpful if field trips can be added
Mhm.
as well. So that you can see it and play it in the game, but then you can go to the actual
For the primary school children.
Sure.
Sure.
And this time it
If
was
it can go beyond the primary schools,
nice.
but yes, for the
And
primary
this time
school
that
children, it would be very, very helpful.
there's something you would like to do. I love that.
We have Browns Beach in there as well.
Uh-huh.
We There's
They love
two
this.
shipwrecks as well,
Mm-hmm.
off the bay of
Right,
Caribbean.
Carol Bay.
And we have an underwater scene where we have the ships, or the
Really?
shipwrecks in there as well.
It's called Star Adventures, right?
So all the primary schools that already completed this game, right, or primary schools that actually involved, and like we said, you like to make it a future as well, if you want that play, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great. So make it happen, Miss NTI. Don't hold your head. Make it happen, and we will support it. And here to see it, Neil, right? Here to see it. And I can say this on here. The Prime Minister said, you know what I mean, and through obviously my Minister Lane, shows to Minister Lane, overseas, but through me, active daily. So I'm part of something called the National Peace Program, right? And so let me say I have venture clubs or fun clubs. Any school, any district, any community, you know what I mean, got responsibility that I could make it happen, you know what I mean, and improve it and send it in. She said she's gonna care what it is as long as it's legal and positive. And it's kind of bringing herself and Minister Corey Lynn. So here you saying that you wanna do something like that, you know what I mean? There's already the provisions there. And we partner with the Ministry of Education as well. So that's a very good thing.
Positive thing.
Yeah. I love it.
In addition, I wanted to add one more thing.
Go ahead.
While doing the game, it started to evolve into something where we had decided to do a handbook that would assist the teachers as well. So we took all the information bits and provided the teachers with them as something that they can go through themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be bookmarks for them as well, along with, they can tell where the children are at. We have questions as well in it that would allow for quizzing. And all of the information is there for the teachers to be able to use that they can tie in with the game as well. So it's not, we're trying not to just keep it as a game, because although we appreciate the game, some time away from the screen and interacting with the teacher is also necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary. Conversation and hearing somebody else talk about these things to expand upon them is something that we thought would be in addition to the experience of the game.
Y'all thought about this like 100 times 10.
I appreciate that. The team that I was with really did help inspire me.
Shine brightly, a star vision. It's like, the game is amazing. I just watched the preview of it on a link that was sent to us. I don't even know if it's public, but listen, I want to play this game real bad.
I love it. They remember your learning, excellence and integrity, effective communication skills for everyday life, developing new competencies, active teamwork, and understanding my national identity is approximately 13 hours to complete. Remember, the top reviews. This course was extremely helpful, allowing me to develop the skills to become a better leader, be a better individual, and to be somebody who values and understands teamwork. I gained a lot of different life skills that I can take into the future to help me improve as a person and a young entrepreneur. And that was one of the reviews. So although it's a game, it's still focusing on these things. But nearly absolutely love you say would like to make it a future as well. NTI on the inside and the outside listening, we might not happen for you're gonna start with like 5 primary schools, let me cover them, and then we go on to the other 5. Make that happen, and just send it to me, let me make that happen. I love that idea, Neil, and I like that. We're focusing on making learning fun for the individuals, but more importantly, the youth, because something like this will indeed help our youth. But I like that you're all thinking to expand as well. Here, Scott said that he would like to play the game, it's something that I will absolutely love to enjoy, and I'm sure Neil, this will birth many other ideas, because this could be helpful on so many different levels if you get a need, not just on the primary school level, secondary school level, and then tertiary education as well. This could really platforms that this could really help. Like you say, it's still focused on the content, but making it as fun as possible. And like when you told Scott that you're not supposed to think about your learning while you're doing it, which is extremely important. It call for me, any kid how you learn, wants to learn, that's me. Any kid how you learn, Scott. Any kid how you learn, wants to learn it, be good. About transforming mindsets, however, many people that like games, like people that like watching dance, like people that like music. You've got many ways you can use to educate people, and this is just one of them, and a brilliant one. So I want to salute you for that as well. For real.
If you wanted to check out more of your work, Neil, where can we do that?
I have works on YouTube, The Empire 246
On YouTube.
YouTube,
The Empire.
The Empire,
Yes.
yes.
246.
Empire.
Alright, cool. I'm following. Sluggy, you know you gotta do the plug. You got a beat playing in your background, so I don't know if you're freestyle more today.
Talk to me.
I got a
See,
beat
man,
playing.
everybody listening, everyone look up on social media. New shades. From shades.
Not the shades.
From shades. Everybody on social media. We live on 105.3. I ain't telling them, look at the camera. Look at that camera there. Tell me who Neil look like. Tell me who Neil look like, man. I got a praise for one. He look like somebody popular.
Now
You know what I
meeting
mean?
start.
Yeah. Listen, NTI, when I can see you, when I got he, tell me who Neil look like.
Listen, throughout our life, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Throughout
I
most of
talk
our
exactly, you know, you look like man.
How many
exact
cases of mistaken identity?
bitch.
It's a good thing he's a man of character too, you know.
That's good. He's a man.
Because
Like,
everybody hold a lash for him.
yeah, boy. Like, you anybody see anybody asking for a hard beat, boy. We want hard beat. Then roll march and all kind of thing, boy. So you get that a lot in life.
A lot, man. Often.
You travel? That gonna be crazy when you travel. Be real popular overseas too.
There was another one.
So what you say, ready?
Kes. Somebody mistaken me for Kes one.
What just say like Cass? Just then Cass look alike, so that when you see you look like Just saying.
All three of them are
And
brothers.
somebody mistaken for Cass too, especially not Cass cut off your locks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I take those compliments though.
Yeah.
They're compliments, sir. Compliments. Alright.
Luckily for you, them is too good, man, too. Yeah, but shout out to the NTI Scotty playing in the background. You know, change your beat.
I change your beat.
Or
You talk about Just yet, so you bring the Just
Oh.
beat.
turn it up my ears. No, every resident of the guy freestyle and take off about 70 hours by now. NTI.org.bb 5,000 courses free. Na 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 na. NTI.org.bb yeah. 5,000 courses free. Yeah. Neil say he want come take a trip. Want learn about citizenship. Take the children on a school tour. Make sure them learn some more. Neil want go on a trip. He want take them on a field trip to learn some citizenship. NTI.org.bb.
How many courses free, Sluggy?
5,000 courses free. NTI.org.bb 5,000 courses free. Yeah, NTI.org.bb over 5,000 free courses. Scott, Neil, say the last name.
Sorhaindo.
That we talk about you on. You got the pronunciation. Neil Sorhaindo is not Serrano, is not Soprano. You know what I'm saying? you sing to Neil? You sing or DJ?
Nah.
You don't do that
Don't put me
song?
on the spot.
Shit,
Don't
nah,
put me on the spot.
you DJ?
Nope.
You don't do that song?
Neil is an artist.
I do more
Sluggy.
than enough. You hear that rap?
Go on.
I do. No, I do more than enough.
Listen, before we move, they're doing great work. They want to salute you. Please tell people again before we let Scott allow me this. Tell people again to end off the show where they can find you and see some of your work. And once again, to you and the whole team that create the gamified version for the citizenship course, I love that you shout out you people too because we need people to see that we can't do it alone. Teamwork makes dream work. So again, shout out your people that help with the game. And let them know where we can find you, my brother. Thanks a million for passing through.
Me.
Yeah, go on.
Empire 246.
Yes.
YouTube.com.
Yeah, the Empire 246. The Empire 246. Make sure when you go and follow, and don't forget every single Wednesday, 3:35 p.m. The nation's #1 station, nation #1 show. Your favorite Uncle Sluggy 73 NTI as I'm counting every Wednesday. Everything Scott to me freestyle is a different item. We getting it. Everybody that locked on, Dapper Tugs, everywhere that locked on is enough love. I appreciate that youngsters need on the outside. You know what I mean? On a station like this, you know what I mean? In a bashment enough, we just talking about transforming lives, helping lives, giving the youth areas that they can venture in. I just appreciate when different blocks is message Scott and myself and I tell you shout them out them their tuning. You know what I mean? Because they could have tuned into sound another station and hear music all the time. I'm so thankful to you all youngsters that accept the responsibility and improving your own life. But you see that, Scott? That's important, because I like to accept responsibility for improving my own life. So thanks to everyone coming on the
Oh, that's
journey.
important. So the word you used at the beginning, imperative.
Yeah, it's of vital importance. These bright boys out here.
All right.
With every vision, with the
As guys, first time, move like a pro, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And that was smooth.
You know, when people tune in when they say,